Hare Krishna. Welcome you all to the Sunday Bhagavad Gita classes. So we are in the chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. And chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita is also known as the summary of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna has briefly described all the subject matters of Bhagavad Gita that he has spoken. And we are in the section where Krishna is talking about Sita Prajna. Sita Prajna means what? Who is a Sita Prajna? A person who is fully Krishna consciousness, not just Krishna conscious, fully Krishna conscious. So we are all like, partially Krishna conscious. We are not fully Krishna conscious. So Krita Prajna, how does he talk? How does he walk? How does he speak? How does he behave? So these are some of the questions which Arjuna is asking. How do we identify a person who is fully Krishna conscious? So Krishna gives very beautiful analogies while explaining about a person who is Sthita Prajna. So the first analogy Krishna giving is Purmunganiva Sarvasha. He is giving an analysis of a tortoise. So whenever there is a danger, what does a tortoise do? The tortoise withdraws its own limbs inside the shell.
Legs and limbs, yeah.
So similarly, a Sita Prajna, Krishna conscious person, whenever he is in unfavorable situation, he withdraws all his senses. And it is not very easy to subdue our senses because senses are very, very strong. So how can one subdue? Sometimes a person externally tries to subdue the senses. However, that desire to enjoy the senses will still remain in that person. Like a patient who is a diabetic, he may be following the diet, but his desire to eat just will not be going. So how can such desire can go? By developing a higher taste. When you develop a higher taste, then lower taste will automatically go away. For example, when we are extremely hungry, we will eat whatever is given to us. It may be even a sukha roti. At the same time, if you're given an option to have a nice feast prasadam, which one we will prefer? We'll prefer a feast prasadam, not a dry roti. A Sita Prajna, a Krishna conscious person, is not subjected to threefold miseries. So he is transcendental to the threefold miseries because he knows that material life means it is full of miseries. There is a lot of material upheavals. Every day when we wake up today in this world, we see different news coming, right? Sometimes the war looks like it is stopped, and after 2 days, it's again starting. So we do not know exactly where the world is heading. There is no certainty of anything. So what in case if we get too much into the world affairs, then do you think it is possible for a person to remain peaceful?
No, chaotic.
In fact, the very first habit of just reading the newspaper, what do we see in the headline?
Stress, yeah. Somebody is
negative
killed.
news. So this is not even going to help to start our day in a happy note.
Yeah, yes.
Right? So he knows that material life means it's full of miseries and there is upheavals. Everything is temporary. Nothing is going to be a permanent. And he remains unaffected with sukha and dukkha. And he keeps away. And raga and dvesha. So he is not attached to anything or he is not having aversion to anything. Like in this material world, we like some people, we don't like some people. We like something to eat, we don't like something to eat. So like that, we have raga and dvesha. So a person who is free from raga and dvesha and who follows the rules and regulation of the prescribed scriptures, then that particular person will receive the complete mercy of Krishna. So if we want to receive the complete mercy of Krishna, we should be away from raga and dvesha and follow the rules and regulations given by Krishna through Bhagavad Gita, through the Shastras. Krishna is telling us how to lead the life. This is our constitution, right? There is a constitution written, right, in 1950 for the country, how to rule the country, right? There are certain rules and regulations even for a country to function. So if that is so, then we have got a human form of life, and there are certain rules and regulations for us on how to live. So those
Yes.
persons who are following the rules and who are free from attachment and aversion will receive the complete mercy. And when a person receives complete mercy, what does he get? He is free from the threefold miseries. He is not affected by the worldly affairs. He remains peaceful. Like during the World War II, there were bombs dropped in Calcutta, and Prabhupada was living in Calcutta. But that did not stop him from doing devotion. He was still sitting in his chair, in his, in the upper portion of his home, and he was preparing gulab jamun and he was chanting. Even if the bomb fell, he was not worried, because even if somebody leaves the body thinking about Krishna, then he will go back home, back to Godhead. He was
God.
sitting in the terrace. He was not even sitting under a roof. He was remaining unaffected. Prabhupada remained unaffected. So we can see through the life of pure devotees how they were unaffected by the threefold miseries.
Miseries.
There are so many Guru Maharaj in ISKCON. We can see that they are not affected by threefold miseries. His Holiness Jayaprataka Swami Maharaj, still now he is fighting with cancer. He is undergoing
Yeah.
dialysis twice, thrice a week. But that did not stop him from traveling. That did not stop him from giving classes. That did not stop him from initiating the disciples. In a medical term, such a person cannot even just sit up in the bed. Even the doctors are so astonished how a person with so much of illness, how can be so active. And even wherever hospital he goes, he gives japamala to nurses. He gives japamala to the people whom he meets. Even once there was a person who was in the deathbed. He was so compassionate that in the last stage, just because he want that person to go back home, back to Godhead, he just initiated that person. He did not have any qualification. But because a Vaishnava is a paradukha dukhi, he cannot see the miseries of other person.
Yeah.
You can see that how a pure devotees are. And what about
Mataji,
a person?
Hare Krishna, and the
Yeah,
survival rate was only 1% of Guru Maharaj to be lived. And doctors were surprised that in
yeah.
1% only of chances he is doing so much.
That's what exactly. That is what I'm saying. In medical terms, for such a person with such much illness, can't even sit. So it's amazing. So we can see when Krishna says that a person who has received the complete mercy is free from threefold miseries, we are practically seeing it is just not theoretical, right? And we say sometimes when we want to chant, oh, I have back pain, I cannot sit and chant. I have headache, I cannot study Shastras. I have this, I have that. And we are trying to give multiple reasons for not doing our
Not doing.
sadhanas. But when we see pure devotees, in spite of their health issues, and they are doing like, so many times, more sadhanas and more this thing, then we should take inspiration from such devotees. And what about a person, Ayukta, who is not connected to Krishna? What happens to such person? Such person cannot have a steady mind. Such person, when the mind is not steady, his intelligence is not steady, and he cannot be peaceful. And ashantasya kutam sukha. Without shanti, can there be happiness?
No.
So that is what it is. So Krishna very clearly says that without Krishna conscious, without connecting to Krishna, there is no peace and there is no happiness and there is no question of mental health, because you cannot be peaceful. Your mind is always agitated,
Disturbed. Yeah.
always disturbed, and your intelligence is also not fixed today.
Yeah.
You do not know. The real intelligence is knowing that I am not the body, I am the spirit soul.
So
And I have to go back home, back to Godhead.
back to God.
I'm undergoing lot of miseries in this life, and life after life, I'm undergoing the same thing. So that is the pure intelligence. Not otherwise, just somebody is very intelligent and came first in the nation or first in the school. That is not the real intelligence. Even though a person, he may be having a very high post, But after being in a very high post, he's involved in gratifying his senses. Then what is the use of his life? A rickshawala or a person who is just driving an auto or doing a very nominal job, he also is earning to enjoy his senses. Cats and dogs are also just enjoying the senses. Ahara nidra bhayamaitunacha samanya metam pashuvinarana. It is the same for humans and animals: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshu. It is a dharma that differentiates us from animals. Dharmena hina. Without dharma, pashuvinarana. We are as equal to the animals. Or dvipada pakshu. We are just a two-legged animal. What is the use of the PhD? What is the use of being a scientist when you're utilizing all your intelligence just to gratify your senses? So, is that called a real intelligence?
No,
No,
Mataji.
that is not a real intelligence. So, and it's not very easy to control our senses. Even if one of our senses are not under control, is not under our control, then what happens? It carries away our intelligence. And we get distracted and we lose our direction. Like what analogy Krishna gave for that? Vayu Nama Ivambashi. Like a boat. What does the strong wind does to the boat? The boat sails in one direction. But if the wind is very strong, what will happen to the boat?
It goes
The
to the
boat
opposite
changes
direction.
the direction.
Yeah.
So similarly, we are Krishna conscious. We are trying to be Krishna conscious. We are trying to be a devotee. And we are doing sadhanas. We are trying to control the senses. But sometimes if we get distracted, we just let our sense loose just one day. It's okay. All the 364 days I'm chanting. Today is one day I'm meeting. It's my school reunion. I'm meeting friends after 30 years. So many things to talk, so many things to share. Today I will skip chanting. It's okay. What will happen the next day? Your mind is clouded with all the thoughts, whatever you spoke with your friends and everything, and all your past life. Everything will come into the picture. What you were doing in your college days, what you were doing in the childhood days, what you were doing in the early ages of your career and everything. And then once that thoughts gets clouded, then for us to do our
It is
chanting and
chanting
sadhana
also
becomes
difficult.
very difficult. We may just think, I'm just skipping for one day, but it will have an impact in us. Because the moment we forget Krishna and we will not be able to continue our devotion, or rather, we won't be able to advance in devotion. One thing Krishna says is Neha Bikramanasosi Pratyavayo na Vidyate Swalpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayato Mahatopayat. Whatever we have done in this bhakti part, it is not under diminution. Even one Hare Krishna Mahamantra a person has chanted, that will save him from taking an animal life. Even if a person has taken one literature of Krishna, he will not take an animal life again. At least that will give him a human life, right? That is the power of the Krishna consciousness. But if we want to go back home, back to Godhead, then we should be very careful that we always control our senses like the turtle withdraws its lips when there is a danger. So Krishna has given an analogy and he is also giving a warning now. You may think you have 5 senses. Your 4 senses are under control, but one sense is not under control. That will change your direction, right? And then in the following sloka, Krishna is saying, only if a person is controlling his senses, then he is considered to be a person of steady intelligence. So an intelligent person is the one who is able to control his senses completely. If a person cannot control his senses, then he is not considered to be intelligent. Okay. So Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, these are our guidelines. So once there was a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. He joined Maharaj when he was just 12 years old. And he was serving Maharaj. And Maharaj is called a lion guru. His preaching is very, very strong. The first sloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj He gave class for 3 months. Each day, the class was not less than 4 to 5 hours. Can you imagine? 3 months, every day, each day, not less than 5 hours. That means just to explain one sloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, he has given something like, if somebody can do some mathematics, 5 times 90, like 500 hours to just give one purpose. So, such a strong preacher. But in spite of that, you know, in the last testimony of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, he has particularly mentioned the devotee, you know, to be, to not to lose his intelligence. So, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra is like a triangle, right? But between the triangle, there is an empty space, right? That should be filled with intelligence. If intelligence is not there, then these three things will not help us, right? And when does that intelligence remain steady? When we are able to control senses. So we can see that everything is interlinked. So the senses are the most biggest enemy for us. Shankaracharya also said, like we saw the example of animals. Why, how by not able to control one senses, they are in danger. And what about we, the human beings? We want to eat whatever we like. We want to hear whatever we want to hear. We want to see whatever we want to see. So imagine when our senses are so loose, then how can one get into the spirituality? How can one establish the connection with the God? It is very, very difficult. Therefore,
Difficult.
we need to control our senses. So we can see in this particular section, Krishna is talking more about controlling the senses.
Senses.
That's most important. Okay. So we'll do the sloka Mataji today. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 69. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam
या निशा सर्वभूतानां
tasyam jagrati samyami
तस्यां जागृति संयमी
yasyam jagrati bhutani
यस्यां जागृति भूतानि
sa nisha pashyato muni.
सा निशा पश्यतो मुनि
या निशा सर्वभूतानां
या निशा सर्वभूतानां
तस्यां जागृति संयमी
तस्यां जागृति संयमी
यस्यां जागृति भूतानि
यस्यां जागृति भूतानि
सा निशा पश्यतो मुने.
सा निशा पश्यतो मुनि
या निशा सर्वभूतानां
या निशा सर्वभूतानां
तस्यां जागृति संयमी
तस्यां जागृति संयमी
यस्यां जागृति भूतानि
यस्यां जागृति भूतानि
सा निशा पश्यतो मुने.
सा निशा पश्यतो मुनि.
Would like to do the sloka?
Mataji, I can do.
Please, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Chapter Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 69. या निशा सर्वभूतानां
या निशा सर्वभूतानां
तस्यां जागृति संयमी
तस्यां जागृति संयमी
यस्यां जागृति भूतानि
यस्यां जागृति भूतानि
सा निशा पश्यतो मुनि.
सा निशा पश्यतो मुने.
Yeah, what? Nisha is night, Sarva, all, Bhutanam, of living entities, Tasyam, in that, Jagrati is wakeful, Samyami, the self-controlled, Yasyam, in which Jagrati are awake, Bhutani, all being, Sa, that is, Nisha, night, Pashyata, for the introspective, Mune, sage. Translation: what is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Tale Srimate Bhakti Vikas Swamiti Namini Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Tale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So here Krishna is giving another beautiful analogy about the day and the night. So whenever there is a comparison of day and night, what does that mean? It is it's totally opposite, right? A day and the night. During the day, it's full of sunlight. During the night, complete darkness. So it is something to show the opposite things. Krishna has used this Nisha, the night. Sarva Bhutana. So, Sarva Bhutana. So, Krishna is talking about all the living entities because all the living entities who are taken in this material world, we are all taking birth, therefore, we can fulfill our desires. The desire is the very reason why we are taking birth again and again. And what type of desire? The desire to enjoy our own senses. We cannot be desireless because it is very impossible to be desireless. Then we become stones. We can, what our desire should be to serve the desires of Krishna. But most of the people, if you say 99.9% of the people, their desire is to fulfill their own senses. Desires and their own senses. People, they like to study very hard and to get good job. For what? Therefore, they can have a comfortable life. When they mean comfortable life, that means what? Therefore, you can enjoy your senses better. You go in an ordinary car and you go in BMW or you go in Audi or you go in some nice electrical vehicles that are there in the market today. The destination is not going to change. It's going to be more comfort. Comfort means what? You enjoy your senses better. Yeah. So everything that a materialist person doing is to fulfill his desires, to enjoy his senses. So today we see, especially the youngsters, what do? What time do they sleep? 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And by the time it is a night for them, they sleep. What about a transcendentalist, a devotee? He wakes up 3:30, 4 o'clock. What as a devotee does? He wakes up. He takes shower so that he can take the beautiful darshan of the Lord. And he can do mangalar or to do chanting. So we can see the contrast. The time a materialistic person, he goes to sleep, and that time a spiritualist, he awakens. And what does he do? He does things to please Krishna's senses, not to please his own senses. So that is what a spiritualist does. So that is why a spiritualist is also called a self-controlled person. If you are not self-controlled, if your senses are not under control, you will not be able to wake up early in the morning. Therefore, it is advisable for the devotees not to eat sumptuously the previous night. Because the more we eat, you will have to sleep more. So, the best way to wake up early the next day is have early dinner. Maybe try to eat before 8 o'clock, at least 7:30. You have your dinner at least 2 to 3 hours before going to sleep, so that most part of the food that we eat is digested. It is medically also very good. If you see, Ayurveda science tells us to eat dinner before the sunset so that the body has enough time for digestion, right? So even it is good for our own body. At the same time, it will help us to wake up early the next day. Because and everything goes hand in hand. Because the more you are thinking, okay, I have to wake up early every day morning and I have to serve Krishna, then automatically Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. One who is serving him preetily with love and affection, dadami buddhi yogam. I myself will give buddhi
Will give
yoga,
them the buddhi.
intelligence by which yena mam upayantite, by which one can come to me. So automatically you will see, once your desire is to serve Krishna, Krishna will give you intelligence that you will mold your life. Like, it's been like about 7 years or so, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, that I have been waking up every day at 4 or maximum at 4:15 or 4:20, like that. And I did not hear anything like Ayurvedic science or anything, you have to take early dinner or anything. But somehow the intelligence Krishna has given, that I started skipping my dinner. I don't know. I did not have any desire to take dinner at all. So I have my lunch around 2 to 3 o'clock and take some milk or some fruits or something around 7, 7:30, and I am done. And that is helping to wake up early in the morning.
Morning.
4, 4:15 or 3:45, whatever time Krishna awakens us, we can do that. And that time of awakening of the all beings is a night for introspective sage. If you see a person who are spiritualist, they are not awake till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. They go to bed early. They go to bed by 9 o'clock. There are very nice devotees in ISKCON. Like, there's a devotee, his name is called Radhesham Prabhu. He said that for the past, I don't know, 40 years or 30, 40 years, since the time he's in devotion, every day he's having a practice of sleeping exactly at 9 o'clock. And next day, no matter whatever it is, he wakes up at 3 o'clock. So sleeping at 9 o'clock and waking up at 3 o'clock, he has been doing incessantly without any interruption. Most likely, maybe when we travel or something, there may be some changes, which is unavoidable. But on a regular day, having a habit, he sleeps at 9 o'clock and he wakes up at 3 o'clock. And the first thing Prabhuji does is hear Prabhupada's class. First 30 minutes, as soon as he wakes up, he listens to Srila Prabhupada. Showers Srila Prabhupada and he chants, and then he attends Mangalarti, and he is also the president of the ISKCON Pune temple, and he's also having a lot of other positions within ISKCON for youth and many things. And incessantly he says, I work till 9 o'clock. He doesn't take rest or anything. He has a habit of sleeping at 9 o'clock and waking up at 3 o'clock and go on and on.
On.
That is how a spiritualist is, a devotee is a night for the introspective sage. Who is an introspective sage? Means a person who is a devotee. A person who knows that he is not the body, he is the soul. A person who knows that he is a part and parcel of Krishna, and a person who knows that I am the eternal servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. I am the eternal servant of Krishna. And such a person will mold his life in such a way that he would be serving Krishna all the time. A devotee goes to the temple for what? To serve Krishna. What can I do for Krishna? In what way I can be of some service? Can I make some garland for Krishna? Can I distribute some books? Can I distribute Krishna consciousness to someone? Can I help in some crowd management during the festival? So a devotee is going to the temple looking for an opportunity to serve the Krishna. Whereas a materialist, even if he goes to a temple, what does the materialist do? To give or to get?
To get.
To get. People go to the temple not to give themselves. They go to get something from the Lord. Right? I have my son's exams are going on, board exams. God, please ensure that he gets good marks and he goes to good college. Right? My child is in a marriageable age, still not getting married. Krishna, please get him married to a nice girl, right? Some health issue somewhere going. So please help that person. So we are only going to God to get the materialist person. Every time they go, they are just going to get something from the God. Whereas a spiritualist person, he goes something to give to the Lord. Right. So, for example, if a prime minister is visiting your home and he's saying, "What do you want?" What will you ask a prime minister? Something much bigger, right? But if the old lady is saying, I forgot to buy the lemon from the market. So can you please get me the lemon from the market? So is this a best utilization of having the presence of the prime minister?
No.
Krishna can
Mm.
give us moksha. Krishna can
And
give
you're
us
asking,
liberation from the birth, death, old age, and disease, and all the three tapatraya. But we are asking Krishna, give me something and always
small.
keep me bound to this material world. The more we
Yeah.
are asking, that means the more we are developing desires. That means we are asking Krishna, life after life, keep me in this material world. Don't take me away. Like, I don't know, once few days back I posted also in our group a lady who was carrying a heavy bundle of the sticks. She was
Yes.
one day not able to carry her sticks, and she called out to the God, and the God came, and God is in front of her. So if she's intelligent, what she should ask to Krishna?
Moksha.
Moksha, or
Mm.
give me liberation, or at least she could ask, let me lead a comfortable life, not living like this. But what did she ask? Keep the bundle again in my
On my head.
head, on my head. So is this the real intelligence?
Yeah.
So we are going to Krishna when Krishna can give something much bigger,
Big.
something much higher. We are asking things, please keep me always in this material world. We have no desire to go back to the spiritual world because there is no knowledge. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 8th chapter, Parastasmastu bhavanyo. There is another world. Don't think that this is the only world. There is another world where there is no birth, where there is no death, where there is no old age, where there is no
Disease.
disease, and where there is no threefold miseries. Right? But because we do not have the knowledge, or even if we have the knowledge, the conditioning is so strong that we just cannot come out of our present situation.
Yeah.
All we know is what is better for me now. We don't have a distant vision. What will happen to me when I leave the body? Where will I go? Many people says, "Humne dekha kya?" What will happen after death? Just because you did not see, that doesn't mean that things will not happen,
Mm.
right? Are we able to see the microwaves? But still, if you're keeping in an oven, is it not functioning? Then because you did not see the microwave, those waves did not have a work and it did not work. It did not show its presence, right? What we see is very, very little. What we do not see is much more, right?
Yeah.
Even in the electromagnetic spectrum, scientifically, if you see also, the visible ray is just this much, very small part. And those rays, which are not visible, they constitute the major part of the electromagnetic spectrum. The UV rays, the microwaves, the infrared rays, radio waves. All these waves are not visible. But are we not harnessing it?
Mm.
Today we are using internet. So there is a ways use. So are we able to see? But is it not working? Like 20 years back, or if somebody says, you are in US, I am in India, and we can see face to face and we can talk. What that person would have thought? Such a fool he is. How can it be possible? When somebody is in America and you're in India, you can see them face to face and talk. It's impossible, right? How was it even possible before the technology came?
Yeah.
I don't know, webcam came maybe around 30 years back, maybe in the thing. Let's keep 40 years back to be in the thing. I don't think so. The video cam, the web technology was there, right? That time
Yeah.
people could not even believe. Just because you did not believe, it did not happen now. Right? And why does Krishna has to show himself? He says, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samatvaya. I don't have any reason to show myself. I am covered with my yoga maya, with my internal potency. If somebody does not believe that Narendra Modi is the prime minister, is there any obligation for Narendra Modi to go and meet that person and show his credentials? That,
No.
at such and such day I got sworn, this is my certificate, you see.
Yeah.
Does he has any sort of obligation to prove that person that he is a prime minister? No.
No.
So does Krishna has any kind of obligation that he has to
Yeah.
show himself to everyone?
No.
He doesn't show himself to he only shows to his devotees. He has no obligation to show himself to a non-devotee. Even if Krishna comes, will we believe?
Hmm.
You're not going to
We
believe.
will, we can't take that
Yeah.
vibes,
That's,
Mataji.
that is what, so
Very.
what is the use of saying that nobody has seen the God? So what is
Yeah.
that? Dekha, pata nahi, dekha nahi.
Hmm.
So don't do anything that is not the thing.
Hmm.
Okay, Mataji. So there are, we'll go through the purport of Srila
Yeah.
Prabhupada. There are two classes of intelligence. There are
There
two
are
classes. Yes, yes, Mataji.
There are two classes of intelligent men. One is intelligent in material activities for sense gratification, and the other is introspective and awake to the cultivation of self realization.
So this intelligence is used in material activities. And material activities means sense gratification.
Gratification.
You can see year after year, so many people are getting into IITs. So many people are getting into BITS. So many people are getting into UPSC. So many people are becoming doctors. And so many people are becoming PhD. Is so many, all these intelligent people, what are they doing now? They are only
Not all are
carrying.
happy with
Yeah,
good, great jobs, Mataji.
exactly. Nobody is happy. Even a person works very hard to get into colleges like IIT. After going there,
Stress.
many people get disappointed and they commit suicide.
Yeah.
They go into
Stress.
frustration and they go into depression because whatever you're desiring, because there is an expectation, there is a thing, and when the expectation doesn't get fulfilled, then what happens? You get into
You
depression. Yeah, because dhyayato vishayan pumsa. The mind is always contemplating on the sense objects. Today, a man may be sitting and doing, his mind is thinking, yeah, there is a new property coming in South Bombay. Lodha is coming with 100 feet tower. Maybe I should work so hard that I will get a penthouse there. When I get a penthouse, I can see the entire Arabian Sea. I can see the entire Mumbai from there, right? That's
Hmm.
what your senses are contemplating. And he is also in such a job where he may be qualified to get that property. Then let's imagine he is in such a job, such a property, everything is going good. Suddenly, the company stocks got crashed. The company got this thing. Then what will happen to his position? He'll
Very
be
sad.
laid off. He will not be able to do. And what in case the person has already paid a down payment or
Oh
paid,
no.
he's already having a loan. He has to repay that. And when he will
Yeah.
not be able to repay, then it will automatically become krodha, angry. He will get angry with every small thing in their life. Chid chid rehte hai na, some people,
Hmm.
anything you talk to them, they are angry because their mind is not calm. Their mind is not peaceful.
Disturbed.
Any small thing you do, they will get angry because they are not happy within themselves. So because the dhyayato vishayan pumsa, you keep on contemplating on the sense objects. And when you get it, still you're not satisfied. Now, iPhone 16, many people were contemplating on this iPhone 16 and many people got it. What will happen when iPhone 17 comes? Will these people who still got the iPhone 16 will be happy without 17? The
Keep
moment
upgrading.
iPhone 17 will come, then they will give up the 16. And they have to work very hard to buy the iPhone 17. All your money will go. You will put loan, you will put this, you will put that. And will you be still happy? Will the news
No.
change in iPhone 17? whatever negative news, whether it is a ordinary phone, which is just costing 10,000 rupees, a Vivo phone, or an iPhone, the news is going to be the same. Nothing is going to change, right? Just because we are attached to the dhyayato, vishayan. We are all attached to the vishaya, to the sense objects. So the
Sense.
more we are attached to the sense objects, there is no question of happiness. Because if you get, you want to get more. Some people, they may plan some vacation this year. Before even going to this year's vacation, they will plan for next year's vacation.
Next year.
You have not even completed this year. And you're thinking following year, where to go, right? So this is our position. And what in case you are planning for 5 years, but something in the life went good, and you are not in a position to go on a vacation? What will happen? Now, many people, Dubai is a tourist place. Many people go. Many people book their tickets. Last 2 months, nobody is able to go. Even though they book their tickets, their flight tickets, they book their hotel, they could not go. What will you do? That becomes into the anger. That becomes into the frustration. Whereas an introspective person, he awakens the cultivation of self-realization. Wants to know, who am I? Who is God? Why am I suffering in this world? Why am I getting old? Why am I getting diseased? Why do I die? Why is my mind and body causing me difficulty? Why does the other living entity causing me difficulty? Why there are wars? Why there are storms? Why there is too much of heat? Why there is too much of rain? Right? So he tries to understand. Atato Brahma Jignasa. He wants to know, who am I? What is my real position? He goes on Jignasha. He goes on inquiry. Because he knows that this world is temporary. This
Not
world is not
permanent.
permanent.
Not
Krishna
permanent.
said in Bhagavad Gita, Tuk alayam a shashvatam. And further in the 9th chapter, he says, Anityam asukam lokam. Anityam. Nityam means permanent. Anityam means
Not permanent.
permanent. So in two different ways he has said. One side he said Dukkalayam. Another side he said Asukam. Another side he says Ashashvat. Another sloka he said Anityam. So he has given repeatedly the same message. Why Krishna is repeatedly giving the same message? So that we understand the importance, right? Sometimes we may have to say the same thing to our children again and again.
Yeah.
Because once you say, it is not entering them. Twice you have to say, thrice you have to say. Why we say? Because that enters. Therefore, if we say Krishna is repeating few messages, it's not a repetition, because when the more we hear, then we will understand. Right? So that's what a spiritualist does. Please read ahead, Mataji.
Materialistic person versus spiritualist. Activities of the introspective sage or thoughtful man are night for persons materially observed. Materialistic person remain asleep in such a night due to their ignorance of self-realization.
So what does the materialistic person do? Today we see the bars are very common, nightclubs are very common, the company meetings, the corporate meetings. It goes on till 12 o'clock, 1
Yeah.
o'clock, right? It's not the habit, we'll wake up early and we will have the meeting. No. And they start at 9 o'clock like that in the morning, because people go to sleep after 1, 2 o'clock, wake up slowly at around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, have their breakfast and then join the meetings. So this is what it is, activities or the night for the person who are materially absorbed. A materialist person thinks a devotee to be a mad person, and a devotee thinks a materialist to be a mad person. Both of them are 180 degrees apart. So they think, how can a person be happy? No movie, no outing, no onion garlic, no outside food, no tea, no coffee. How can a person be happy? They sometimes question, is it even possible for a person to live without tea and coffee? Have been questioned to some people. Somebody asked me, no, I don't take coffee. No. How are you surviving? For them, the question of survival, without tea and coffee, their survival itself a question mark, because they think that without tea and coffee, a person cannot even survive.
Saturday.
Yeah, survive, start a day is different, a survive, She was asking, how are you surviving? She used this same
Surviving.
question to me. I'm exactly repeating her words. So they think, but a materialist, similarly, a devotee also thinks what kind of a mad life they are living. They are not sleeping
Awake all
properly,
night.
and they are waking up, and they are, people, they take alcohol, they party and everything, and next day they have hangover. They are not even able to awake or be steady. What kind of life they are having? They have Monday blues. They are always morose. They are agitated. They are angry. What kind of life they are having? So a spiritualist thinks a
Materialist
materialist
person.
person to be, he's leading a useless life. And a
The
materialist thinks
material.
that a spiritualist is leading a useless life. This is a time to enjoy. You're so young.
Life is only once. I heard from my own friend Mataji.
Yeah,
Life
yeah.
is एक ही बार है, मजा करो ना.
Correct, correct. And they say, आपका तो उम्र भी नहीं हुआ अभी तक. You're not even old. Why do you come into spirituality? And as you see, like we see that old age people, they don't want to do bhakti at all. We see at least today the youngsters are taking up bhakti, but the old age
Yeah.
people, they don't want to do bhakti at all.
Yeah.
They want to go, they have their own kitty party, they have their own outings, and they go to outing to resorts. Once you go to resort, there's not even a guarantee that somebody may live their life in resort also, right? 80, 85-year-old. When you go anywhere, or when you even in the home, every day is a bonus day, right? You do not know when you're going to breathe your last breath.
Last breath.
So, and then they wanted to go. So we can see that both of them think other person to be mad. A materialist thinks a spiritual person to be mad, and a spiritualist thinks that a material person is mad. But we know which madness is better.
Yeah.
The
Because they have not
spiritualist,
tasted that
the
spiritual
madness. Even
nature.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was mad with Krishna Bhakti.
Hmm.
And a devotee is also getting pleasure by serving Krishna. If
Yeah.
there is no pleasure in serving Krishna, then we will chant, or we will listen to the class, or we will read the scriptures. We are also getting pleasure.
Yeah.
So, in fact, the devotee is getting more pleasure than Krishna himself. Because by serving Krishna, the devotee is getting more pleasure. That's why Krishna took the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Mahaprabhu.
Because Radha is the topmost devotee of Krishna. So Krishna wants to know what is there in me that she is such a great devotee. What is there in me that she is so much a devotee. So he wants to understand the Radha Bhav. He wanted to be in the Bhav of a devotee. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna in the
Avatar.
Radha Bhav. Because he wants to understand his own sweetness. And we see that Krishna, that Alilai Krishna, we say, what does he do? He sucks his own toes.
Hmm.
Because everybody is wants to surrender. Everybody wants to touch the lotus feet, is aspiring for the lotus feet of the Lord. So Krishna wants to know what is there in my lotus feet.
In my lotus feet.
Therefore, he is taking his feet and he is sucking to know what is there in my lotus feet that everybody wants to obtain it. Right? So Krishna himself wants to know what is there in me that people are devotee to me. What is there in me? So the devotees are also getting pleasure.
Yeah.
That madness, a devotee gets, this madness is a spiritual madness. And this madness gives ecstasy, and this madness will give us ticket back home, back to Godhead.
Godhead.
The materialist madness will drag us. Not even, there is no guarantee to get a human form of life. Forget about next life. That's what, in the 13th chapter, it is said, Urdhvam gachanti sattvatva. A person in sattva guna go to higher planets. Madhye tishtanti rajasa. A person who is in rajoguna, he will remain in the middle planets, like earthly planets. Adho gachanti tamasa. A tamasa person will go to the lower planets. Adho gachanti tamasa. He will not even get this human form of life. Just because you do not remember, that doesn't mean that you can take whatever life you want. But the soul is the same. We are all eternally individuals, eternally part and parcel of Krishna. We cannot trace out when did we appear. Like Krishna is Anadi, we are also Anadi. We do not know when we came, because we are part and parcel. When we
Of
cannot know
love.
when Krishna appeared, we also do not know when we appeared.
Hmm.
So Anadi Kal say we are trying to enjoy our senses. Life after life after life after life, we are enjoying senses. But not a single life we are happy. Therefore, we are taking birth again and again.
Rebirth.
Fill our unfulfilled desires. The reason we are coming again is to fulfill our unfulfilled desires.
Desire.
Even if we have one desire to eat gulab jamun, for
We
that
come
you
back.
need to take a life again, because you have an unfulfilled desire. Somebody has a desire to get a gold medal in Olympics. He has to come back again and again, and he has to accumulate the piety so that he will become a gold medalist. Right? So this is what we do. We accumulate piety so that we again take birth. Right? And each lifetime, whenever we are coming, we do several karmas that will drag us and keep us in this material world again and again. No matter whether you're born in a very rich family, whether you're given a very beautiful bodily features, whether you're given a very high education, still the problem of birth, death, old age, and disease remains. Right? Yes,
Yeah.
Antaji.
Activities for spiritual advancement. The introspective sage remains alert in the night of the materialistic men. The sage feels transcendental pleasure in the gradual advancement of spiritual culture.
So
I
what
think
does
that
that
is not
mean?
complete actually, the
Yes.
sentence.
Yes, Mata, I have
Whereas,
given in the other thing.
uh, uh,
Yeah, I have given in another topic. I know it's not complete, but I just made it into another thing.
Yeah.
So we can see that an introspective sage, he, whatever at the time a materialist person sleeps, mostly materialist person do not wake up if it is Sunday. Most of them don't wake up till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, right? But here, all the devotees are here waking up at maybe 5 o'clock or something and listening to the class at 6 o'clock
even I used to be like that, Mataji.
before, right?
Once upon a time, even I, not before 9 on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. That's what. And now, because we are introspective, for the
Yeah,
gradual advancement of our spiritual culture, we wake up early. That's what a
yeah.
devotee wakes up early. He takes shower, he attends Mangalarti, takes the beautiful darshan of the Lord, chants, and attends the darshanarti, then here to Srimad Bhagavatam Katha, and then he partakes the prasadam. By doing so, what happens? He is gradually advancing. The
Mm.
spiritual program which Prabhupada gave is very, very powerful. Once we are there, even Mataji, if at all there is a chance, even 3 days, if you happen to stay in the temple and attend all these programs, the amount of spiritual surcharge you will get will be amazing. If you are doing the program as given by Srila Prabhupada, any person, no matter he might be the most lower person, he will also change. He will also become a devotee. If somebody is following everything, this program, what Prabhupada has given in Krishna consciousness. We see so many people who are hippies, who are drug addicts. They are all dropouts. They dropped out from the college and they came out of their parents also. Those double dropouts in association with Srila Prabhupada, the pure devotee, hearing to Bhagavad-gita, Bhagavatam and chanting, they all became a very great devotees, right? Yes. Activities for material gratification.
Activities for material gratification, whereas the man in materialistic activities, being asleep of self-realization, dreams of variety, dreams of varieties of sense pleasure, feeling sometimes happy and sometimes distressed in his sleeping condition.
So we see materialistic life means there is happiness and there is distress. Sometimes things happens what he likes and he's overly happy, is in cloud number 9. Sometimes when things does not happen what we expected, then he will go into distress, go into depression, because everything that he is doing is for sense pleasure. Right? When we are in the plane of sense pleasure, there can be happiness and distress. But a spiritualist knowing that Matra Sparshasta Kaunteya Shitoshta Sukha Dukkata. Like how the season changes, similarly, Sukha and Dukkha comes and
Also
goes.
goes.
Agama Apayino Anitya. So they all
It's
come
not
and go.
permanent.
Tam Titishashva Bharata. Krishna says, learn to tolerate. Sukha and Dukkha keeps coming and going. Don't get carried away by it and learn to tolerate. They come and
Tolerate.
they go. Now it is summer. It is not going to be summer all the
All
365
the
days.
time.
After 2 months, the rainy season, the monsoon season will start. And after that, the winter season will start. So this is all is temporary. It is not going to be forever, right?
Ever. Yeah.
So introspective man is
Introspective
undisturbed.
man is undisturbed. The introspective man is always indifferent to materialistic happiness and distress. He goes on with his self realization activities undisturbed by material reactions.
Yes. So we can see that he is not disturbed by the material reactions. He knows things happens only as per Krishna's mercy. If Krishna sanctions, it will happen. Even though we are aspiring so much, if things did not happen, a devotee considered it to be Krishna's mercy. Maybe I think it will be good for me, but it didn't happen. Maybe Krishna has a better plan for me.
Plan for. Yeah.
By making it not happen, Krishna is saving me from greatest danger.
Mm.
So, whatever happens in his life, it may appear like so called happiness or so called distress. He knows that everything is by Krishna's mercy. He will, that's what Brahmaji has a prayer in the Bhagavatam 10th canto, 14th chapter. Tattenu kampam susamikshamano punjana evatma kritam vipakam ritvagva purvi vidatam namaste jiveta yomukti padase dayabak. Tattenu kampam, tatte anukampam. So one who is the one who receives the mercy of the Lord, a devotee, thinks even if he is facing reversals in the life, reversals may be a very big uh, tragedy in the life, a death of some person or a loss of a job, something, sometimes tragedies happens, sometimes the sorrows that happens in our life is beyond our tolerance, beyond
Control. Yeah.
what we can take it up, it may
Yeah.
be such a big tragedy. Even at such a reversals in a life, a devotee thinks it to be Krishna's mercy. Maybe I have done so much of sinful reactions, I might have to suffer more, but Krishna has made it less. Only a person in such uh, consciousness, he can enter the kingdom of the Lord. Otherwise, you cannot enter the kingdom of the Lord. So even though we are devotee, we should not see, I am chanting 16 rounds of Krishna, I am following the rules and regulations. So Krishna should only give me happiness.
Mm.
That's not the way we should think, right? Whatever you want, you do, Krishna. The Sishtastakam, last verse of prayers, he says that, you are my only master, lovable master. You hug me or you trample me. Whatever you do, you are my only worshipable master. Whether you hug me or you trample me, right? Sometimes devotees are facing lot of miseries in their life. Somebody may suffer from cancer in their life. Somebody may, so many things it happens even in devotee's life. It's not that once you're in devotion, everything is going to be, but the devotee learns to tolerate it. The devotee is able to accept it by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. And in such a thing, he can enter the spiritual world. So we can see that the living entity, there are two classes of men. So introspective sage and a materialist. Materialistic people, all their activities are centered for sense gratification.
Gratification.
And the activities are based on the material sense gratifications. And activities are like day and night. We see that whatever is a day for a spiritualist, that's a night for a materialist. Whatever is a night for the materialist, that is a day
Is
for
a
the
spiritual
spiritualist,
differ.
which we can easily understand in today's world. Even at least 50 years back, maybe this sloka might be a little difficult to understand. There were no much nightclubs or anything.
Distraction.
Today we can understand. Nobody sleeps. The youngsters don't sleep before 1 o'clock today, right? And the introspective sage is for the cultivation, for self-realization and activities. Whatever an activity a devotee does is for his spiritual advancements. And once you are in that spiritual advancement, such a person is not disturbed by the senses. He is not disturbed by the demands of senses. Okay, a devotee feels like he wants to eat a gulab jamun. He can very well make, and you can offer it to Krishna and you can eat. You don't have to subdue your senses. You cannot make desire less. That's not possible. But you can channelize your desire by satisfying
Offering to
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yes, anything that you want to do it for Krishna's pleasure. Then that same desire becomes Krishna conscious, right?
Hmm.
So everything we can do, but we should know that are we doing to satisfy our own senses? Or are we
Hmm.
doing to satisfy Krishna's senses? Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I am sorry. We thought we will do some thing about the Akshaya Tritiya. Mataji, I think because the time is less, we can do one thing. If possible, 7:30 to 8 in the evening, can we just discuss about Akshaya Tritiya? Is it possible for you all to join?
Yes, Mataji, I can do it.
Okay, maybe I'll put it in the group. We will just have a very small session on the importance of the Akshaya Tritiya day. Is that fine for the devotees? Whomsoever can join. Even if one or two, if you are benefited, I'm ready to do that importance of, because right now, as I said, my daughter is also having her Bharatanatyam performance in Kalidas in Mulund. So I have to get her there by around 8:15.
Yes, Mataji.
So shall we again meet